Hello, English learners, and welcome to another great podcast with English Pod.
My name is Marco.
And I'm Erica.
And today we have another really great lesson for you elementary.
Welcome to a deep dive into something totally fundamental to our daily lives. Money. We've pulled together quite a stack of sources for you today, looking at everything from what it even is to how we get it, use it, save it, and the challenges that come with it too.
Yeah, our mission today is really to unpack the core ideas of personal finance. Not just definitions, but getting a real handle on its role in daily life, how people see it differently around the world, which is fascinating, and maybe even some practical ways to talk about money situations.
Get ready for some insights that might actually reshape how you think about your own finances and maybe how we all discuss them. Okay, let's get into it. To really understand money, maybe we should start right at the beginning.
Good idea. So beyond just, buying stuff, money is sort of this powerful social agreement, isn't it? It's like a shared belief that lets us build complex economies, plan for the future. It really changed human interaction, moving us way beyond simple barter. Think of it almost like a universal language for value.
And it's a language that's always evolving. It's not just coins and paper anymore, is it? Now, so much of it is just data, right? We move it with a card or our phones. It's a huge leap from swapping eggs for bread back in the day.
Definitely. Money made buying and selling so much easier, faster. But that change wasn't just about making things convenient right now. It unlocked new possibilities: planning, saving for security, investing, even giving back through charity. And while every country has its own currency, dollars, euros, yen, whatever, the basic job is the same, helping people get what they need.
Okay, so we've got a sense of what money is, but how do people actually, get their hands on it? Seems simple, but our sources show it's actually quite varied.
Yeah, the most common way, obviously, is working. People have jobs, they trade their time and skills for money. We call it a salary or wages. Doesn't matter if you work in a shop, a school, hospital, an office. It's that basic exchange.
But it's not just traditional jobs anymore, is it? Lots of people work for themselves now, like being self-employed, someone selling fruit at a market. They keep the money directly. That's different.
Exactly. Entrepreneurs, freelancers. That's a big part of it. And earning isn't just for adults. Kids get pocket money, students get allowances for chores, or they might have part-time jobs after school. Little bits of income.
And sources also mention money coming in other ways, right? Like gifts, birthdays, special occasions, money from family or friends, or even government support for people who can't work.
Yes, financial support and benefits are crucial for many. Those may be too old or too sick to have a job. And people also get money by, selling things they don't need anymore. Old clothes, books, furniture, maybe online or at a market, or even renting out a spare room or a property if they have one, finding ways to use what they have.
And this is where I found it really interesting, the creative side. Our sources highlight this connection between creativity and earning, like artists selling their paintings, musicians getting paid when people listen to their songs, authors getting royalties. It shows value isn't just about, manual labor or office work.
Absolutely. It underlines that creating value, whether through art or a service or a traditional job, often takes time and effort. And learning how to get money honestly and smartly is, a pretty important life skill, I think.
Okay, so people get money in all these ways, but then how does it actually weave into our daily lives? It's not just sitting there, it's constantly moving.
Oh, completely. It's basically the engine oil for everyday living, isn't it?
Yeah.
Think about it. First off, food, buying groceries, paying at a cafe.
Yeah.
That's a daily thing for most.
Right. And homes, paying rent, or if you own, the mortgage, plus all the bills, electricity, water, gas.
Transportation too.
Yeah.
Bus tickets, train fares, gas for the car, maybe fixing your bike, getting around costs money.
What about clothes? For work, school, special occasions, shoes, jackets.
Yep. And health. Seeing a doctor, buying medicine, hospital visits. The costs there can vary hugely depending on where you live, of course.
True. And staying connected, communication, paying for your phone plan, internet access. It feels essential now.
It really does. Then there's education, buying books, school fees, maybe university tuition, or even just classes to learn something new.
Okay, so that covers a lot of the needs. What about the fun stuff, entertainment?
That too. Movies, concerts, games, visiting a zoo, hobbies like painting or sports. All uses of money.
And helping others, giving money to family, friends, charities.
Absolutely. That's a significant use for many people. And finally, crucially, saving. Putting money aside. In the bank or somewhere safe for emergencies or big future goals, buying a house. that trip you want to take.
Wow, okay. So it really touches almost every single part of life. It's not just about buying things.
Not at all. It's about facilitating life itself, needs, wants, connections, future plans, everything.
Now let's shift gears a bit because it's not always straightforward. Our sources includes this really powerful dialogue, almost like a scene from a movie. It's about a man, Johnny, who's in deep financial trouble, asking for help from, a Mr. Corleone figure. It paints a stark picture.
It really does. And it perfectly illustrates what a recession is. That's when a country's economy is just doing badly. Lots of people lose their jobs. Companies might close down. People spend less. Stock prices drop.
Yeah.
It's a tough time economically.
And Johnny lays it all out, doesn't he? He says he lost his job, he's broke, just completely out of money. He's got credit card bills piling up, car payments, his mortgage, that big loan for his house. And on top of all that, his son's college tuition. It's just overwhelming.
It is. But the real twist in that story, the unexpected part, is Mr. Corleone's response. He says he's broke too, lost half his money in the stock market crash. It really drives home the point that recessions can hit anyone, even people you think are untouchable.
Yeah, that was striking. The dialogue also flags some key terms. We mentioned mortgage, that loan for property, and apparently the T is silent.
That's right, mortgage. And loan is just the general term for borrowing money. And Johnny uses that phrase, hit me pretty hard. It just means something had a really strong negative effect, like bad news or getting sick. It knocked you back.
And tuition, the money for college or university, these are all terms tied into big financial commitments.
Absolutely. And connecting this personal story to the bigger picture, it's fascinating how different cultures view this whole idea of debt.
Right. Our sources contrast North America, like Canada, with parts of Europe. In Canada, apparently, having debt is almost normal, even necessary. You need that credit history proof you can borrow and pay back just to get things like a mortgage or a car loan. Banks were even giving credit cards to teenagers.
Yeah, sometimes with free gifts to encourage signing up. It's a system that in some ways actively encourages borrowing to build that history and, to spend more. Which is so different from, say, Switzerland, according to one source. There, debt is generally seen as a bad thing. You might need to put more money in the bank than the credit limit you want just to get a card. It's the total opposite philosophy.
That Swiss example is wild. It really shows how diverse financial cultures can be, doesn't it? These aren't just abstract economic systems. They shape how individuals behave with money every day.
Exactly. Deeply ingrained cultural views, not always just pure logic driving decisions.
So, okay, we have money, we use money, but there's always that choice, isn't there? Spend it now or save it for later. How do we navigate that?
That's the fundamental daily dilemma for almost everyone with an income. Both spending and saving are important. Spending obviously means using money for goods or services. Food, clothes, bills. It's essential. But the key, our sources suggest, is being mindful, avoiding those impulse buys. Buying something quickly without really thinking.
Yes, the quick purchase you regret later. The advice is to ask, do I really need this or is it just a want? Can it wait?
Precisely. And saving, on the other hand, is deliberately not spending everything. Keeping some back for the future. People save for all sorts of reasons. Big goals, like you said, school, a car, starting a business, but also just for emergencies. If you get sick, lose your job, the boiler breaks. Having that safety net is crucial.
And it doesn't have to be huge amounts, right? Even saving a little bit regularly can add up.
Absolutely. Small amounts, consistently saved, grow over time. You can keep it at home, though a bank is usually safer. And sometimes banks even add a bit extra, called interest.
Our sources also mention some practical tools to help manage this, like making a budget.
Yes, a budget is basically just a plan. Where does your money come from? Where does it need to go? What's left over for saving? It helps you see patterns. Like maybe you realize you're spending a fortune on takeaway coffee every week.
And then you can choose to make coffee at home and save that cash instead. It gives you control. And that other point, thinking about needs versus wants.
Crucial distinction. A need is something essential for life. Food, shelter, basic clothing. A want is something nice to have, but not strictly necessary. The latest phone, fancy clothes, another gadget. Just knowing that difference can really help prioritize spending and boost saving.
So it's not really spending versus saving, is it? It's about finding a balance that works for you.
Exactly. They work together. A good financial life usually involves both careful spending and smart saving.
But let's face reality. Money helps us live, but not everyone has enough. Many people around the world face real money problems.
It's a huge issue. Our sources point to several common reasons. Job loss obviously is a big one. Suddenly, no income. It makes paying for basics incredibly hard.
And even if you are working, sometimes the pay is just too low, right?
Yeah.
A low salary might not cover the cost of living, especially if prices are high.
Definitely. Then there's debt. We talked about borrowing, but when you can't pay it back, it can spiral. Credit cards, loans for houses, school, medical bills. It causes immense worry.
Yeah, and medical problems themselves can be cripplingly expensive, especially if you don't have good health insurance. People might have to choose between medicine and food.
It's a terrible choice to face. And education costs, too. Going to university can mean huge debts that hang over people for years, even if they struggle to find a well-paid job afterwards.
And what about the emotional side of this? Worrying about money all the time. That must take a toll.
Oh, absolutely. Our sources are clear on this. It can make people feel sad, tired, angry, even embarrassed. It leads to stress, arguments, difficulty sleeping. It really impacts quality of life. Money stress is very real.
So how do people cope when they're in that situation? What do they do?
Well, they find ways. Sometimes it means getting a second job or working longer hours if possible. Often it involves cutting back drastically on spending cooking at home instead of eating out, walking instead of taking transport, buying only absolute necessities.
And asking for help from family or community.
Yes, asking family or friends if they can. Or turning to community centers, food banks, charities for support.